Good Friday afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great day. Before you come in the chat, please hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video. So, as usual, I always thrift and I just come live with you guys for a video. I did go out thrifting today and found a lot of amazing items, and I'm here to share those with you guys. So, we'll add a little more light on the subject. So, it's still very cold here in Indiana, but hey, that's what January's about. So, spring is not that far away, and all I can say is come on, spring. So we'll give it just a few minutes for those notifications to get out, and then we will begin this haul. I did find some really nice things and a lot of vintage items, of course, because that's what I deal in mostly is vintage items. And I just thrift them, come home, come on here, and show you guys what I found. So we will give it a few minutes. I hope my internet, I think my camera's a little better because I've got a different camera. So hopefully it's better. And there is Zeus. Welcome in, sweetie. Because the last time I had a live, my camera, I don't know if it was the weather or what, but it wasn't good. So anyway, it's good to see you, Zeus. Is it cold where you're at, Zeus? It's cold here in southern Indiana. So we will give that just a few more minutes and we'll go into this haul. Like I said, I usually thrift from a one source place. It always has amazing things. And if I find myself in the area, I usually just go on in there. There was a few times where I didn't find anything, but 9 times out of 10, I do. So we'll kind of wait it out just a little bit longer. I had to set some things in the hallway up here because it's getting crowded. So. But anyway, I was traveling on the expressway the other day and someone had snow on top of their car. New York City, I bet. And they always tell us to remove the snow from our car. And well, I was behind somebody and some stuff flew off of it. And I'm like, and I had my daughter's car. I drove her car because it's heavier. And I'm like, oh my God, don't people listen? I mean, a lot of times this snow is frozen and there's ice involved. It could break somebody's window. So I went around him or whoever it was and got out of the way because I didn't want, ice can be very hazardous. My husband about a year ago was driving on the expressway coming home at 3 a.m. in the morning and a UPS truck passed him a flying and something came off and broke my husband's windshield. Luckily it didn't, it was on the passenger side, but needless to say, snow on top of a vehicle can be very dangerous, So there he had if he'd have been like me, one time something flew out of somebody was hauling some heavy equipment and a piece of corkboard about like that flew out of it and it hit. It was a fairly new truck and it skid across the top. And what I was so afraid of is that if it would hit the windshield and block my vision, it could have caused an accident. So I know. And I kept blowing my horn and going like that, and I chased him down that expressway. So I thought, okay, you don't want to pull over? I'm going to get your tag number. So we get off the same exit, and I rolled my window down, and I was really upset. So I pulled off and called the police and showed it was just a scuff, but that's beside the point. It's very unsafe when something's coming at you and could block your vision. So the policeman followed up with the report. He tracked it down to a tool and die company, and they said, "We don't think it happened." He said, "It did happen, and you're paying for it." And there's Shell Bell. I've been something else in my day, but I chased him down the expressway telling him like this, and he wanted to blow me off. So they had to pay. It was scuffed, but that's beside the point. It could have obstructed my vision and caused a horrible accident. So, but anyway, I wouldn't do that now. Somebody'd shoot you probably. So I kind of avoid that now. It's scary. Like I said, I have some stuff out in the hallway, so I'll have to grab that first box. So I will be right back. I just got to jump over here. Let me unload a couple of these boxes. So you guys know I never miss an opportunity to get out there and if I'm in the area, I always go in there. Is my camera better? Shell Bell got her package. I packed the dickens out of that because I know how the post office is. So hopefully it's okay because of they see fragile on something and it. Okay, good, because I did change my camera out. I think the other one might have been, it wasn't real expensive. Oh my God, Shelville, I hope not. And this is an Angel tube camera, and it's got where you can adjust. There's a light around it that you can adjust. And I wrapped the dickens out of that because I know how they are. They see fragile and they go, man, probably throw it over his shoulder. But on a better note, that's why it kind of takes me a while, guys, because I have to, you just can't haphazardly wrap glass. You can't do it. You have to. If I centralize it, then it's a lot safer because I know how they roll. So first up, of course, I seen a box, and you know how, and it does. This is an old one, guys. Which one? This ring, Shell Bell? That's a Sagen right there. And I have the matching bracelet. Isn't that pretty? It's a Sagen. So naturally, you guys know my love of boxes, and when I seen it, my eyes lit up. And then when I opened it, okay, guys, when you see dovetails on something, like right there, see the dovetails, we automatically know that this is a vintage item for sure. So I opened it up and voila. This is by Fashion House. There's your, good Lord. Jeez. She's like a bull in a china shop. I knocked my water over. I opened it up. And this is a silverware chest. It's by Fashion House. It is vintage, but it is tarnish proof on the inside, and you have another drawer that pulls out like so. It does need to be cleaned, but it's a nice box. It's dovetailed, and there's your little emblem like right there, and it is tarnish proof. And I know how you guys are about boxes, so I went ahead and picked it up because it would make a lovely jewelry box. It's tarnish proof, and it's by Fashion House. Let's see if I can't get that up there for you. There's your little insignia right there. And it does need to be cleaned, but I will clean it. There are condition issues. I researched it. I do not know how old it is, but here's your condition issues right there. But all in all, guys, look at the top of that thing. This thing is really nice. And I thought, ooh, box. Get that off of there. And it's nice, Hey, Karen, welcome in. It would be nice for someone to put their jewelry in. Yes, it is. It holds silverware, but hey, it's vintage and I couldn't pass it up. Not for what they had on it. And I seen the box and I'm like, ooh, a box. So I picked it up. Good to see you, Karen. Good to see you, sweetie. Good Lord. Get this off of here. But the wood, for its age and the dovetails, it's in really good shape, and it would make a nice box for, if you had some kind of older jewelry that you wanted to lay out flat to keep it in good shape. But the top of it is in excellent condition. And I'll give you a measurement. And I just happen to have a measuring tape. You better write that down, because it don't happen. Thank you, Shell Bell. I had my hairdresser worked his magic on my hair. So he put in, it's like a red with highlights in it. And thank you, Shell Bell. We are looking at 14, it's over 14 inches, about a 14.25 inches long. Oh, no, I love this color. I've had this for a long time, and I like to crack it out. And this is about 10 and 0.75 inches. It's amazing. Like I said, if you had some jewelry that you didn't want, that you wanted to lay out, look at the, I'm going to clean this up. And I tell you what, guys, whenever you have something like that and it's tarnish proof, do not use a damp anything on it. I take some tape, some clear tape, whiter tape, and that's how I clean it. Do not put anything damp on this, because not only it could wipe away some of the tarnish proof and it could leave a spot. And I just take tape and I just stick it on there and it removes all the lint. I did that to another one. Hey, Bruce, welcome in. I did that to, what else did I clean? Oh, I sold a jewelry box. It was that Gottinger, that about like that. And I took a piece of tape and cleaned that up, and you wouldn't believe what that looks like. So never, ever, ever take a damp cloth to something like this or any old item, because it will mess it up. Use a piece of tape and it gets the lint perfectly. But look how beautiful. Yes, it does have condition issues. Not very many for its age, and it is dovetail, and we know that when something's dovetail, it's absolutely older. So wouldn't that be nice as a jewelry box? You have a whole free tray down here to put your jewelry in. This one's all open with tarnish proof. And it doesn't get any better than vintage. And welcome in, Bruce. Thank you for coming in. I see what these sell for, and they don't give them away, just saying. And I've seen all different prices, but the top price was up there. So if anyone's looking for something different to put their jewelry in, I got you covered. So it's an oldie but a goodie, as I call it. Set this over here. This other thing, guys, I said it was sitting there in all its glory, and I was thinking, please don't be a display, please don't be a display, because they won't sell it. And let me grab it real quick. Move some things around. You want to talk about a spectacular find. It does have tarnish. It's silver plated, and I'll tell you about it here. I want you to check this out. You want to talk about, and it will clean up. That is silver plated. It's very heavy. It is footed. I don't know the age. Look how big that thing is. Isn't it pretty? I thought, oh God, please don't let that be a display because I knew I wanted it. But that, here, I'll move it in a little bit. Isn't that just stunning? It is silver plated, and I'll give you the specs on it. If you had an antique tea set, it would absolutely be beautiful. And this is heavy, guys. So it is an international silver company. The pattern is Joanne. The pattern number is 721, and it's Webster Wilcox. You want to talk about something that really sells for high dollar, you ought to look at these online. Of course, you know, I kind of spot tested to see how it will clean up. And as you can see right there, and you want to talk about gorgeous, just take a look at that. And if you have an antique tea set, to place that on this thing, you know, like I said, it will clean up. It does require cleaning as with most silver plated items. But this thing, and it is heavy and it is for sale. I know it's big. Where's my measuring tape? All right, what'd you do with it? I tell you, I'm only one could lose. I could lose something. So we're talking about, and I know it's larger than the 18 inches, but I have discovered through the shipping method that I use, as long as your box is not real tall, when you get into height, that's where your cost comes in. And if it's sold, this is 25 inches long, guys, including the handles, and it is about 15 and a quarter. This thing is magnificent. You ought to see what these things sell for online. My phone has a magnifier on it that has a where you can turn a light on. And when I first seen it, I picked it up and I'm like, oh my God, that's beautiful. And I could see there was something on there, but I didn't care at the moment because the price was right, and it's kind of, you know, it went right in my cart. So that thing, it is gorgeous. And of course, it's probably been in someone's attic or someone's basement. And it's just beautiful. It's got weight to it too. And I could just imagine a tea set, on a vintage or antique tea set on that. I mean, this tray would be the highlight of any room, really. And when I saw it, I just fell in love with it. And I said, I'm getting that. And it's footed. Look at the feet on that. So it's categorized as a tray, a beautiful vintage piece. I'll set this over here. Now, they're starting to wrap a lot of their more delicate items in bubble wrap, which I was thrilled. Yes, it would, Shell Bell. That thing is, oh my gosh. Of course, you would have to clean it, but the beauty of it is well worth the investment of your time. So I have this bowl. Yeah, you're talking about an accent piece. That is off the chart accent piece. And, you know, you can look at it and tell it's old. Y'all know how I am about my bowls. And look at this pretty thing. You know, you have it's smooth on the inside, and it's like those little things are kind of raised. And look at your bottom. And I'll tell you what it is. We have a built-in china cabinet in this house. So, you know me, I like that old those vintage items, and evidently you guys do too. Let me find my gallery. I try to get a variety of items because I know that I kind of know what you guys like. And there is Gwen. Welcome in, sweetie. I know what you guys like. And I try to feed that vintage fever that a lot of you have, but vintage is always nice. Okay, this is a vintage hobnail Federal glass bowl. So this is the raised area that is considered hobnail. It is beautiful. Let me see if I can find a date on it. Then that doesn't tell me much. Let's see. But it is Federal glass. It is hobnail. It's probably from, I would say, from the 30s or 40s to be exact. And thank you, Gwen, for coming in. I appreciate. Look at that. I mean, is that not magnificent? I mean, gee. And I had to get that one. Of course, you know, it does have that little bead, little scalloped edge on it. It's just gorgeous. And Federal Glass is a good brand, guys. I've sold some Federal Glass in the past, so I thought I'm picking that up. So, you know, we have to, if I'm going to pick something out, it's going to be worthy of looking at. I can tell you that. You guys know how I roll. I don't go ordinary at all. That's just not in my DNA. So here comes another one. I think this is Fostoria. Fostoria is not an easy one to find, guys. And whenever I can get it, I pick it up. That young man did a good job on wrapping. And look at that. Look at the way that's made. Look at the bottom. And I believe this is Fostoria, guys. Let me fact check myself. And thank you guys for being here. Don't forget that thumbs up. I would appreciate it. Google search image. And everything you see will be for sale. I'm not keeping anything I don't need to. I've got a house full now, and I just don't need it. So this is absolutely a, let me look. Sometimes it's confusing because I have a zillion descriptions, but it is a beautiful, let's see, that's not the one. But right here it describes this as a American Fostoria lead crystal. I don't think that's it. Yeah, it is. Vertical tapered. It's a candy bowl dish. So it is Fostoria. Whenever I can get a hold of Fostoria, I grab it every time. 1978. This is odd, guys. This piece right here, according to what I just looked up, was a gift for Avon sales representatives only. So, isn't that weird? I guess when you accomplish something, they gave you something like that. Oh my goodness, Gwen has a whole, hey, Sissy Winks. 14 grandkids. Uh-oh. Yeah, Gwen, I usually deal in the vintage stuff. You know, I don't go for the modern pieces. I go for vintage pieces like this, and this is Fostoria. Good to see you, Sissy Winks, and welcome in, sweetie. I'll just put it right back in the bubble wrap that was put in, so it will keep it safe. Nothing like something get broken for. Alrighty then. I have 4 of these. I know you guys just love the wine glasses, right? Thank you, Sissy Winks. Yeah, I happen to get lucky. I have a one-stop shop. Hey, Mama Chola, welcome in. And look at this. Now, is that not gorgeous? I'll move it in so you can see it better. There we go, right there. And I'll tell you what it is. This is really lovely, and if I'm not mistaken, it's crystal. So good to see you, Mama Chola, and thank you for coming in. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. You know how I do. I just come live and okay, this is a Mika Show Windsor crystal tall water glass. But to me, I think wine would be, you could use it for water or wine. Look how tall that thing is. And it is crystal, and I'll tell you how tall it is. I love it when I hear that sound. That's the sound of a quality item, right? Right. Okay, I'll tell you how tall it is. And I've got 4 of them. And it is just a smidge over 8 inches tall from the top of the rim to the bottom. No, it's 8 from the top of the rim to the bottom of the stem. I just made a rhyme, guys. From the top of the rim to the bottom of the stem. Better put this around my neck or I've done lost it. But they are crystal. They are beautiful. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I have 4 of them. And I will wrap that right back up so we don't have any moments. Wrap it up. Got to protect your investment, right? You can't be haphazard with your items. Now, I got to step into the other room for a second. So, I did come across a really neat vintage purse, and I had never heard of the name, but check out the bling bling on this one. Now, is that not spectacular? Then you have that right there. Talking about the bling bling. It is a crossbody. It is beautiful. Let me get it open. So the name of this one is Dexme, and it's got a D and an M, and it is vintage. So I had to get it. I do know some of you guys like vintage purses, and it's DM. It might be hard to see, but it is vintage. It was marked as such, and I thought I'd get it. You just don't, it's really a nice vintage purse. It's in really good condition. It's got the bling factor. And as soon as I get this out, isn't it snazzy? I mean, you're talking about the bling bling, and there's your top. It looks like a bow, and it's approximately, and you know, if it's vintage and it has bling, you know I'm going to get it. So it's approximately about 8 inches across. It is about 4.5 inches deep. I thought it was lovely. The metal is in really good condition for the age. That's what I look for. You know, I don't like to get something the metal is really bad on it. There's even stones right there in the top of that knot right there. Isn't it beautiful? I'm not keeping it. Hey, bird on a wire, welcome in. Isn't it gorgeous, bird on a wire? A nice little crossbody. But yeah, these things are like made onto it, to where the stones are not going to get, or the little rhinestones are not going to get knocked off. And I thought it was beautiful. And no, I'm not keeping it. Lord knows I have my own hoard of stuff. We're supposed to get snow and a freeze tomorrow night and Sunday. And for a week, it's going to be very cold. Oh my goodness, Mama Chola. Mama Chola's getting a taste of that winter weather. It's been cold. It's been like in the 20s in the daytime, and we've had some sun that's warmed things up quite a bit. And the roads are in real good shape. But it's been interesting. But January's almost over, guys. The hardest month, the longest month, and there's Kelly. Welcome in, sweetie. Good to see you. Thank you. And January to me is normally the longest month ever. And it's just about over with, guys. So we'll see if the groundhog sees its shadow. And Mama Chola has a birthday in February, and I have a birthday in February. Hers is the 11th, and mine is the 8th, fellow Aquarians. My husband's is 5 days after mine, so he's Aquarius too. And our daughter was born March the 5th, so she came pretty close to being an Aquarius also. But she was born March the 5th. All right, let me venture over. Let's see, there's that. Okay, guys, I'm back. I got another pedestal punch bowl, like I really needed one, but the last one sold. My one and only marriage was to an Aquarian man. Wow. So we know you love your colors of glass. This seems to be an area for anchor hawking because that's this right here. Let me get the information, and it is green. It is anchor hawking. It is from the 70s. So it's definitely vintage. See the flower on there and the way that's made? I have 3 of them. Then you have the solid green on the bottom. Let's see here. Me and my pedestal punch bowls, I'm telling you. Let's see if I can find it. There it is, right there. Alrighty then, we have a vintage anchor hawking green tumbler. And I believe it's from the 70s, but it is anchor hawking. And it has a rain flower pattern. I'll move it in so you can see that flower. Manufactured in the 1960s, making it a great mid-century modern. This right here is textured, guys. And then you have your flower right there. I thought they were great. Something you don't see every day. And I know you guys like colored glass, so that's why I picked it up. Of course, before I have another sale, there will be one more thrift that I'll have to do because I want to make sure that I have plenty. And one thing about it, they wrap really well. I'm very satisfied with the way they wrap things. You're like, she's going to break something. Oops. I know that I sold a pedestal. How does it go like that? It goes like this. A pedestal punch bowl before. It sits right like that. And I'll show you the cup. Unwrap all. I had to fish out that bowl, but I had a pedestal punch bowl set. I do not remember what the pattern was, and this was such a good price. And I think there's 14 pieces, so there are 12 of these, and the base and the bowl is a separate entity. And there's Romel. Welcome in. So here's your bowl right here. And here is your pedestal right there. And together it makes a very lovely pedestal. You see a lot of punch bowls, but never pedestals. I had one other one and sold it. Hey, Beth, welcome in. And I can't remember the design. I remember who bought it, but I can't remember what the design was. But this thing is looking like that. And it is a punch bowl. So let's take a quick Google shot of this. The pattern looks familiar to me, but I don't remember what it is. So let's take a quick shot of that and welcome in Romel and Beth. I can't resist a punch bowl with a base. What can I say? I'm just like that. So let me take a quick picture. Back up a mile. And of course, I will always clean things. They never leave the house like they did when they left the store because, I just don't believe in sending something that's not been cleaned. Sometimes things look even better once they're cleaned, right? Oh, Lord. We have an Anchor Hawking. Anchor Hawking must be my thing. And it's a press cut clear glass. Good Lord. Anchor Hawking, they must have been really popular in the state of Indiana. Mercy. And let's see the description. And thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. Anchor Hawking. Press cut clear glass punch bowl stands 8 inches tall. Cup star fan. Pre-cut star pattern. The punch bowl is approximately 7 1/4 inches tall, 14 inches wide at the widest point. Let's see, both pieces are stacked together approximately 13 7/8 inches tall. It's a big one, so I see it selling for different prices, and I sold one that was really, I don't remember which one it was, but I did sell a punch bowl with a pedestal on it, and I can't remember what the design is, but it's really, really nice. I mean, punch bowls, they are beautiful. They do make a pretty presentation for any kind of event or anything. And the vintage ones are really pretty. Isn't it pretty, Beth? Yes, hit that thumbs up, please, and thank you. And if you notice, my camera's better because I had an Angel Tube camera. See, I found out that you cannot go live on your phone until you get 1,000 subscribers. Oh, you're fine, Mama Chola. You're fine. I appreciate you doing that for me. Hit that thumbs up. This particular one has a light on it, and I think it's a better camera. I think the other one would just, oh, yeah, the camera is much better. About drove me nuts. But yeah, it does have considerable weight to it. It is a vintage. I like the scalloping along the edge. That's what it looks like when you look down into it. And here is your pedestal that matches right here. When I went in there one time, they was selling, this was in a different section. And I guess they decided that it went with that. So when I went back in the next time, they were together. Please say that again about streaming on your phone. I looked it up, Mama Chola, and what it said, I used a Google search. It said that you cannot do it on your phone until you have 1,000 subscribers. Now, I could be wrong. I don't know if it's because I always am on this device here or what it is. I could be wrong. I mean, I did start out using this laptop. I could be wrong. You just need at least 50. Yeah, I'm getting up there. And let me tell you, I worked hard, and you can see by those videos how much content is on my channel. So it's not like I sit back and didn't do anything, because there's a lot of videos on there. Well, I think on a new channel, Mama Chola, it's 50 to go live for the first time. I do know that you have to have at least 50 in total. Because I think the first year I really was kind of idle. The second year I woke up, and then year 3, boom. So there is plenty of content on there that needs to be washed, and it does have the coordinating. Ugh, that's got some kind of film on it. That's why I always clean things before I send them, because I would not send something out like that. Mm-mm. No way. Nope, nope, nope. And it doesn't bother me. Why? I just stick them in a sink and put Dawn in there, and whenever you clean them, they come out and you dry them. They look so much better than what. Yeah. To my understanding, Mama Chola, you have to have 50 subscribers on a new channel before you can go live. 50, I believe, is the number. So, and I looked on my phone, I'm like, why isn't there a place to go live for? Of course, if anyone out there knows why, please let me know. I would appreciate it. Because I do know a lot of people do use their phones. I don't know if you start out using your phone, then I don't know. I'm not tech savvy. So I couldn't tell you. So let me get my alcohol and clean that off. But I tell you, I put the work in. I'm just waiting for it to pay off, right? Because it's not like there's nothing to watch, let me tell you. I don't know, maybe I'm too repetitive with things. I don't know. But I always put my best foot forward. I have 50 subscribers to do my first live. Yep, I thought that was true, Beth. Yeah. So me wipe that off. Alcohol, guys, if you're wanting to get something off if it's a sticker and if it's on glass, especially if it's on some gold gilding, you should be able to stream directly on your phone with your status now. Really? I didn't know that, Romel. If you ever have a sticker, especially if something has gold gilding and that sticker's on there, do not take and use anything, scrape it, because you will scrape. Hey, Lenore, honey, welcome in. You will scrape the gilding right off of it. So I always just kind of perforate it a little bit with some alcohol. That way it loosens the glue on the stickers and it doesn't take something important with it, right? This is kind of a small one. It's good to see you, Lenore. Good to see you. Just like your jewelry box, when you get, I'll show you all the box for those who didn't see it in the beginning. When you get a vintage jewelry box, and I'll show you this one over here because I was able to, it's for silverware, but what I want to, it could be used as a jewelry box, but I want to talk to you about that and what to do and what not to do. So first I will show you this little bowl. It's absolutely vintage. It's kind of an unusual thing where the that comes down to it's almost like a teardrop running down. But yeah, I just use alcohol to loosen that adhesive and just rub it and it comes right off. Because if you do that and it's on gold gilding and you scrape it like that, you just rank your investment because it's no longer, it's considered damage. Let me look this one up. It's good to see you guys and thank you for coming in. Always good to see you guys. All right. So, let me see if I can find that again. Move it in a little bit there. Let's see here. There we go. Thank you for dropping those channels, Lenore. Let me see here. Lenore, I wanted to say something to you. You have always been here. You're really helpful and your status is you're going to have a higher status as far as a mod because you're always here. And I think I got to go in some kind of setting to do that. So you are going to be directly behind me and you're going to be upgraded from where you are to that super mod because you deserve it. Right, guys? Right. And I can't think of it. You guys are all awesome, but Lenore is she's just such a joy. She's always there to help. And yeah, she's amazing. She's there to help. She'll do anything you ask her to. And she's just an all-around good person. And I couldn't think of a better person to give that upgrade to because I trust you explicitly, Lenore. And I think that you should have that position and you shall. So if somebody comes in and they're acting a fool, you have the block button. Don't forget this rule. If they come in acting a fool one time, they're going to continue to do it. And you have my blessing so you're going to be upgraded, my dear. You're welcome, honey, and you're so deserving of it. I thought about that the other night. I said, there is no one. Let me see here, Lenore, if I can do this. Let's see. I don't know if I can do it here. I'll have to figure it out, Lenore, but you are being upgraded because I think you deserve it. So, not that no one else does, but I'm just saying, you guys know I'm not playing favorites, but I'm just saying. This is a vintage Hughes Angler clear glass serving bowl, mid-century modern. It's for a snack or fruit bowl, and it's etched flower right there, and it's fluted and crimped mid-mod dinner party decor. And it is old, and I thought it was very unusual because these look like teardrops, long teardrops, and I just thought it was neat. So I picked that up. So evidently that was built onto this later because see, that's raised on the outside, and it's really a beauty, guys. So there we have it. We'll move it in a little bit. So there's that. Now back to the jewelry box or the silverware box. So this is what I showed earlier, guys, and I thought it was really fantastic. And you know, I can't resist a good box. Thank you, Lenora. I seen a box and my eyes lit up. So here's the top of it. There are condition issues. Lenora said, no, not that. There are condition issues, but very few because it is vintage. And I looked this up online, and these are rather costly. Lenora, peek for just a minute. I guarantee it's worth it. So there's your inside, and it is Fashion House, and it is tarnish proof. You know, I know it's for silk flatware, but you know what? Who said that you have to have it for that? And it is Fashion House. You do have an additional drawer, and whenever you see dovetailing, it's something that was done many moons ago. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. A lot of you guys probably know what it is, dovetailing. But when you see that right there on the bottom, that is put together. There are no screws, and that is dovetailing, and that's how they fit that together. Oh yeah, Lenore, it sure could. Romel said, I need more boxes to put in on my boxes. It's well made, and who says you have to? It's got the drawer slides in. And it's good size, guys. Let me grab that. The minute I take something off, that's not it either. But as you can see, what did I do with that? I give up. Here, I'll show you how big it is. That is how big it is. Now, that's no small potato right there. Look at that wood on that. And yes, it will be up for sale. I had one, and you still got your knobs, and there's condition issues because it's older, but hey, that's nothing a good marker wouldn't take care of. You could fill that in with, you could take and clean this thing with some Murphy's Wood oil soap, and then go over it with some old English scratch cover, and you never know it. Hey, nephew Troy, big stash box. But what I was telling you, the way that I clean these, and this one does need cleaning, I do not use any type of damp anything. Don't ever do that. Of course, this one is tarnish proof, but never ever use a damp cloth. Here's what I do. If it's got, I don't use a vacuum on it because I don't want the suction to lift up the lining. What I do is I take tape and I double it around, stick it together, put it on my hand, and just dab like that. Because I had one that had the same color of inside, just like that, and it was rough. But when I got done with it, it looked like it was brand new. Because you don't ever use any damp anything on something like this, or even if it's not tarnish proof and it has this kind of thing, never use any damp cloth because you'll ruin it. It will probably take some of the coloring out of it, and it'll leave a very distinctive mark, and that's just something you don't want to do. And you just use the old tape method and you'll never go wrong. This one I'm going to clean up. I wouldn't use any kind of suction on it because because of the age, it might suck this out. And once something is puffed out, there's no going back. So there's that info on that. No, don't use a fuzzy rag or you'll make matters worse. That's a no-no. You just use the tape method and it'll come out just beautiful. Trust me, I had to clean one up. And thank you, Lenore, for dropping those links. Another thing I wanted to bring back up. Now, this is top of the line. This is American Silver Company. It's footed. And the pattern is, and I looked it up because I was really excited, and I said, please don't let that be a display. And it wasn't, so I bought it. And what this is, I wish if it was sterling, nephew Troy, I'd be laughing all the way to the melting place. It's silver plated, but it is an international silver company. The name of the pattern is Joanne. The number on this one is 7291, and it is Webster Wilcox. And it's a silver plated footed Salvier, or whatever that French word is. But I want you to look at that. If you've got an antique tea set or something, let me bring that in. If you have an antique tea set to put on that, and this weighs, guys, this is no lightweight. And yes, it does have tarnish, and here's the bottom. And that would clean up with some tarnish stuff. Look how big this thing is. Look how big that is. And I just couldn't resist. I had to buy it. And there again, this one sells for high dollar online. It is vintage. And it's just beautiful. It has weight to it. It's not the kind that's, thank you, Lenore, that's real flimsy. This thing it's got some weight to it, but it is beautiful. Indeed, it is. And see, once you get that cleaned up, how magnificent would that be? If you had a tea set that was an antique or vintage, I mean, you could put the teapot and the accessories on here, and plus whatever you wanted to. And I cleaned the spot right in the middle, to show you that it will clean up. See that spot right up there at the top right there? It will clean up. It's heavy, it's amazing, it's footed. You don't see that, ladies and gentlemen. You just don't see it. I mean, this would even be, once it's cleaned up, would even be beautiful to put to display jewelry on or to show jewelry on, but I'm not keeping it. Yeah, it is beautiful. I'm not keeping anything. I've got enough in this house to, and it's going up, guys, because the only thing is it's going to have to go rigid shipping. Now, the only thing's going to save on this is that your box doesn't have to be very tall. And there's Nana. Welcome in, sweetie. It doesn't have to be very tall. And I shipped something and I thought, oh, Lord, I hate to run this. But the shipping price was kind of reasonable. And this is another one that sometimes when you have height on a box, that's what really causes the price to go up. But it is beautiful. I mean, you don't see these very often. But like I said, I have a good source and I can offer these at things at a price that possibly no one else can because of where I get them and what I pay for them. But, I'm kind of, when I have a big item like this, I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to see. There's this thing about me, guys. I don't like to put a big hefty. I don't like to see people pay a big price for shipping because I'm really trying to get you the best deal, and but if there's an item that like I said, this is a plus because the box does not have to be deep, and that's what's going to save it. As I have shipped things out, I noticed that, and I forget what I shipped out, and the price really wasn't that bad, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, I know what it was. It was that clock that had the carriage on it. And that was heavy, guys. And I think that what Pirate Ship tabulated was $18 shipping, but look at what you're getting. The price was right. It was heavy, but the thing that saved it is the box wasn't big. And that's what saved it. I know $18 sounds like a lot, but when you're getting a vintage clock with the carriage and a horse on it, and it's old and it's beautiful, then, I mean, and actually, if you were shipped something regular mail, you're looking at probably twice that because, we get the better deal. And just know that whenever I do your shipping, I do give you the best deal. Now, I don't deal with UPS anymore because I looked up and it said this is going to ship for this. And then I looked up later and it says there was a different charge. And I'm like, what? And then I just asked them, I said, why is my shipping coming up one thing on Pirate Ship and turning into a couple dollars more? And they said, well, it's that DWT. And it was a 2. And they said, evidently they looked at a box and already predetermined what the weight should be. And that is so unfair. So I just stick with the post office, the regular post office, because it's not really, guys, it's not fair for UPS to do that, but that's the way they do. Now, I did hear that UPS would no longer be delivering packages from Amazon. Look for that in the coming days because they're not going to ship Amazon packages. They're not going to deliver anymore. So look for that in the coming days. I don't know why they made that rule. I don't know, but that's what they're saying. So, but sometimes you learn a lot through general observation. You know, a few times that you getting hit with an extra charge wakes you up, doesn't it? So let me put this over here. But that's what would happen to me, and I just got tired of it, and I probably said it kind of rough, but I said, "What in the world is going on here?" I said, "Pirate ship quotes this price," and I look up, and it's extra. It's not fair. So I decided to find out what in the heck was going on. And when they told me right then and there, I knew that I wasn't going to use UPS because, it's not fair. So, at least be fair about it. If to me, if Pirate Ship quotes a certain price, it should not be any more than what they quoted. And you look up and, well, your box is this, that, and the other. And I'm like, oh my God, this is what I really love. This right here. This is a vintage one too. I really like that. So I just picked that up as well. One of those. And these are made into the fabric. Isn't that pretty? You would definitely be the belle of the ball and with that. But I'll probably do one more thrift. Gotta go. My dinner is finally done. Gave my thumb and have a wonderful weekend. Love to you. Love to you, Mama Chola. Go have a nice dinner. And, I know when you're hungry and your food's done, you want to eat it. So thank you for coming in, sweetheart. I appreciate you. I really do. Dinner sounds what I had pot roast for dinner. I'm kind of spoiled, guys. My daughter does practically all the cooking, and thank you for the hearts. So I am a little spoiled, just a little bit, not a lot. Hey, Elizabeth, welcome in, sweetie. We had a bunch of glass and a something that held silverware that is tarnish proof on the inside that can be used for a jewelry box. So I'll probably do one more thrift, guys, before I have a sale because I like to have more than this to offer. Of course, Lord knows I already have enough, but hey, we got to keep it fresh, right? Got to keep it fresh. So I kind of, when I'm in the thrift store, a lot of times I'll push carts out with things on them. And I'm so attuned to that. Every time I hear what sounds like a cart, I'm looking around thinking, if they're coming out there with the cart, I'm going to be right behind them. But they're a good place to go into, and prices are great. Well, as you can see, a lot of things that I have sold, it's a really good price. And, sometimes you have to offer that good price to sell something. You don't want to, keep it, because after a while you just run out of room, right? But that chest will be going up. See, I had a silverware chest that I bought that it was going to cost so much money to ship that thing. So I took it in my bedroom, and it had a drawer that slid out. And I had these things that I bought at Amazon that you put, of course, that was tarnish proof, that you put rings into. So I just popped a piece of that in there and got rings all running through there. And so, it was a shame not to use it. So I went ahead and added it with the other ones, and it turned out really nice. And anywho, another drink here. But Well, guys, I guess I'm going to let you guys go. If anyone missed the beginning of the live, you can always go back and watch. Yes, it really was. It was a footed jewelry chest, silverware chest, and I just could not. And it's about yay big. It was about 19 inches. Thank you, Zeus. Thank you, Beth. And thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. I'm going to let you guys go. And good night, Romel. His time is different than ours. So it's liable to be early in the morning. Romel lives in the Philippines. Oh, yeah, you can utilize these things. Who said it has to be a. Nobody's going to run in your house and lift the lid up on it and say, oh my God, that's used to put flatware in, because, you can, of course, if somebody come through mine, the Chihuahuas would have had them. And if you want to watch the replay and see what else was going to be offered, I usually like to do one more thrift before I have a show, because it takes me longer to pack these things, guys, because they're glass. And you really have to have a plan before you do something like that. And I always like people to get their stuff, safely and in one piece. So I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you for those thumbs up. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll catch you next time. Take care of yourself. If you're where it's cold, stay warm. And just think spring. We're closer to spring now. So I love you guys. Thank you for being here, and have a wonderful night. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Need to think of what to do so sales for us with Douglas. Uh-oh. Better put your thinking cap on, Romel. Good night, everybody. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye. Oh, no sales. Well, you'll be in somebody's cell, Romel, I guarantee you. And let me say good night before I get to start talking again. Thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye.